Did you click on this video to finally learn how Boba Fett escaped from the belly of the Sarlacc? Well, you're in luck. Here's what went down in the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Star Wars fans have been eager to learn more about Boba Fett ever since he first appeared in 1978's Star Wars Holiday Special and 1980's Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Although he was originally played by Jeremy Bulloch in live action, Temuera Morrison stepped into the role for The Mandalorian Season 2 after playing Boba's father Jango Fett in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Boba is an exact clone of Jango, so Morrison's return fits perfectly. But many fans have wondered whether the Book of Boba Fett will reveal some jaw-dropping secrets about the Star Wars universe. This is mainly because the first live-action series, The Mandalorian, changed the face of the franchise forever by introducing Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. Although the new series widens the universe, it doesn't pull the rug out from under the audience. Star Wars fans will be glad to know that the series wastes no time in answering one of the biggest questions surrounding the legendary bounty hunter. It starts with Boba waking up inside the Sarlacc after the action-packed opening to Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. His escape from the literal belly of the beast has previously been explained in books and comics, but it's exciting to see it in live action. It's only a brief sequence as he uses a dead stormtrooper's oxygen to stay alive before punching a hole in Sarlacc's stomach and setting the monster aflame. This is a man who just refuses to die. But from there, his escape isn't so easy. The episode uses Boba's time in the Bacta tank to flash back into his past, filling in the gaps between Return of the Jedi and his reappearance in The Mandalorian. Once Boba makes it out of his trial by Sarlacc, he passes out from the entire ordeal. Unfortunately, he's set upon by a band of Jawas who quickly steal his armor from him while he's on ground. This immediately ties into The Mandalorian Chapter 9, wherein Din Djarin comes across Cobb Vanth. He's the Marshal of Mos Pelgo who buys Boba's armor and rocket pack from the Jawas to protect the small town from gangsters, as well as the behemoth Krayt Dragon. If being mugged by Jawas isn't enough, Boba is also set upon by Tusken Raiders, who tie him up and take him back to their camp. Luckily, he isn't tortured the way Anakin's mom is during Attack of the Clones, but they do tie him up with a captured Rodian as a Massive keeps watch. Obviously, Boba isn't the type to stay put when he's captured and quickly makes his escape into the desert, although he's pursued by the Tuskens. They're extremely vicious, as Boba finds out when he's forced to fight one of them. Interestingly, his opponent uses a gaffy stick similar to the one Boba wields in The Mandalorian. He's definitely going to become an honorary sand person, although they're not on friendly terms just yet, and he loses the fight. The flashback sequence is over once Fennec Shand wakes Boba up out of his Bacta nap, and it's time to get to the bulk of the story. There's a power vacuum left on Tatooine following Jabba the Hutt's death in Return of the Jedi, and clearly Boba feels he's the one to fill it. But it's going to take more than the bounty hunter saying he's the new crime lord for him to establish rule. Even when the respective crime factions start bringing tributes to Fett, the mayor of Mos Espa doesn't even show up, instead sending his Twi'lek major domo to ask for a tribute from Boba. That's not a good sign. But still, the bounty hunter turned crime lord is determined to turn over a new leaf, intending to rule with respect instead of embracing Jabba's iron-fisted approach. So the sneering major domo manages to leave with his life. It's a bizarre change for the bounty hunter who has long been fueled by revenge and rage, although clearly there's more to this plot point. At least some of the planet's authority figures bow to Boba.
Would you like your Gamorreans hosed down and fed while we are sequestered?
Notably, a Twi'lek known as Madame Garsa fills his helmet with credits. She runs a bar called Sanctuary, and it looks a lot cleaner than the Mos Eisley cantina. This juxtaposition between Boba and Jabba's rule critically sets the stakes for the rest of the series. While some denizens of the desert underworld, like Garsa, will likely embrace Boba's new regime, others will summarily reject it. Years of toiling under the murderous Hutts has likely led many factions on Tatooine to view Boba's more reasonable style as a sign of weakness, a weakness they are likely to exploit. Sure, Boba might be one of the most feared bounty hunters in the entire galaxy, but Tusken Raiders simply don't care. They'll turn anyone into a slave. Fett and the unnamed Rodian are forced to wander through the desert with a Tusken youngling, and they come across a band of looters raiding a random moisture farm. They don't intervene, simply watching from afar. Expect Boba to encounter the gang later in the series. From there, the Tusken youngling forces Boba and the Rodian to dig up black melons from under the sand. Unfortunately, the Rodian uncovers a giant six-limbed behemoth, which can only be described as a lizard centaur thanks to the way it runs with its torso facing upwards. Luckily, Boba uses his chains to strangle a giant beast to death in the same way Princess Leia kills Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi. Since he saves the Tusken youngling, the episode ends with the Sand People accepting Fett, as the leader hands him a melon to drink from on their return. His alliance with the Tuskens is probably how the bounty hunter survives on Tatooine for so long without his armor and his signature spaceship, but we'll probably learn more whenever Boba takes a back-to-nap in future episodes. By the end of Chapter 1, we may not have seen the rumored return of Emilia Clarke's Kira or live-action Darth Maul, but both seem even more plausible in future chapters thanks to the inclusion of a very telling musical cue in the Book of Boba Fett. Discerning fans will note the deliberate deployment of a tune associated with the criminal organization Crimson Dawn, aka Daenerys Targaryen's side hustle. After Solo underperformed at the box office, fans feared we might never get a satisfying resolution to Kira's storyline, nor any real payoff from the big reveal that a revenant Darth Maul was still kicking around managing organized crime. Thanks to these key musical phrases, it seems incredibly likely we'll get satisfaction as it pertains to one or both of these questions. The Book of Boba Fett may essentially be Solo 2, which is actually great because it means we don't have to watch Solo 2. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about the Book of Boba Fett are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.